Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and we're going to be doing my reading journal update today. I have these two journals, and I'm going to put you top down, and we're going to talk about what's going on. Okay, so first of all, this is the My Reading Life journal from Bogel, and I can already tell that it is starting to kind of bubble up because I am putting pictures in here, and I will show you what I have been doing. If you missed this in my last video, that doesn't matter, it's just marking where I was. I put pictures in here of the book covers as I finished reading the books. And so I answer all the questions, or I write a lot of the information in here. I have actually stopped doing my ratings in here because I'm doing them on the call pile forms, which you'll see later in a different video. But I am marking the books as I finish reading them. So as of today, right now, I have read 43 books. This journal will hold 100 books. And so I am not sure what my plan is going forward after this. But as of right now, I am just continuing with what I've been doing, which is the title, the author, the genre, the length, the publisher, the year it was published, and how I discovered this book. And then I will have to decide what's going to happen after I get to 100 books. I really like this. I think the small size is wonderful. If this is something that you are looking for and you want me to do like a more in-depth flip through, let me know and I will. There are tons of lists throughout this book. There are little tips. There's even a little section about like how to read more. This is really cool. The world was hers for the reading by Betty Smith. I really like just the colors that's used in it. I like how it flows from one color to the next. And I love the quote pages that are just put in here throughout. It's a really good book. So that's what I do in that one for right now. No real updates to put in there. The thing that we're really here to update is the Scribbles That Matter book that I used the beginning of last year. I used it all last year. So I started out in January of 2021 and it went all the way through December. And then I started the new way that I am doing it. And so if you missed last month's update, these are all for my NPR challenges. And so if you notice in the other reading journal, I don't have some of the pictures in there. And that's because they're for this book. I'm tracking them in here. So let me grab my glue, my roller tape, whatever it's called. And we're going to put these down. Now these are all, I have the years kind of written on the back in pencil so that I know what goes where. But for 2014 eye-opening reads, I read The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert. And then these are the ones I read for 2013, 15, 16. And now for 2017, I read Mozart's Starling. In 2018, I read Girls Burn Brighter. This book was amazing. And then for 2019, I read Rabbits for Food. This book was not amazing. It was okay. Now, 2020's book will go here, and then I will get to flip over to my favorite spread and do Tales from Around the World. But that's not for today. So we skip all the rest of these. These are all NPR spreads that I will get to throughout the year. They're different categories on my NPR challenge, and I go here to the fantasy. Now I went ahead and marked, I have read 3 more fantasy books. So I just need to fill in the bubbles for those 3 books that I have finished. Okay. So my fantasy is all caught up for this month. For my Robb-a-Week, I've actually finished quite a few of them. And the bad news of doing it the way I've been doing it is I don't know which color I'm on next. All right, these are the colors that I'm using to mark these. And I was just following this pattern, except that I have 2 greens. And I don't know the last thing that I read. I think that it was green, and I have 2 oranges only and 2 yellows, so I'm going to start with orange. And the first thing I have is Betrayal in Death. And I'm actually, this time, I tried to mark on here like where they were, but it did not really help because I still had to look for them. But my plan is that I'm going to make a note that the last color that I used was green. I'm just going to put a little thing right here saying that green was the last color I used, and it's not even that green. See, this is the problem. I'm going to ignore that green. This was the last color I used, this green. So next time I'll know to start with orange, yellow, and so on and so forth, skipping this color green. Okay, that probably took way longer to think through than it should have. Okay, my Journey to the Dark Tower actually is staying exactly like it is because I still have not finished one single book since I updated this last month. I cannot believe that. So I will be finishing probably 2 the next time because I really am close to being done with one of the books. So we move to the next spread, which is Tamora Pierce. I have finished 2 of these books, so I'm going to be erasing what I have written in here in pencil and writing it in with my pen. So Trickster's Choice was the first in a new duology. But before that, I read Lady Night, and that one was the last in a series before I started the first in this duology. So I'll be finishing that duology and starting another book in the next month. But this is what it looks like so far. Okay, then the last one is Stephen Graham Jones, and I've actually finished 3 more things since I checked in here. This one is going to be hard because it's a long title, but I have Zombie Sharks with Metal Teeth, The Least of My Scars, and Demon Theory. So those are the Stephen Graham Jones books that I finished this month since the last update. And the last thing I have to do are the changes to my TBR. Now, this is not really TBR. I should have said WTR, like want to read, but I didn't know what I was going to call it or how I was going to do it. But at the beginning of January, on my story graph, I had 1,190 books in my want to read. And at the end, I had 1,230. So that means the beginning of February, I had 1,230 books on there. And we will see how many I have at the end of February. We're not quite there yet. Also, I finally did make me a note down here. This is called the Buzzword-a-thon or Buzzword Readathon by Books and Lala. And these are her prompts for each of the months of the year. And I wrote story graph on here because that's where I'm actually tracking this. So if you have a story graph, up at the top it says reading challenges, and there are tons on there already. And this is one of them that's already on there, and you can just pick a book for each one of these prompts, and then you can say like, I've read it, I'm done with it, or whatever. And so I think I'll probably just wait until later in the year and then come fill this in. I'll probably just color in with a crayon maybe when I've done whatever the prompt is that I'm gonna do. But that's what I'm doing with this one right now. And that's it. I don't have anything else in here. These are the things that I'm tracking in this book. I am loving the way this is turning out. I can't wait to get over here and start putting books in here, and then so on until we're done with all the NPR books for the year. So that's where we are, and that's what's going on. I usually keep one bookmark there and then one bookmark back here on the last page. I don't really know why, because I only check in with this once a month now to just update everything that I've read. I do stick these pictures in here as I print them off. I just stick those in there, but I don't tape them down until I'm ready to do the walkthrough update with you. So that's where we are right now. I am still loving this setup, especially because I've been tracking a lot of my stats online. So it's been nice to have this in here that's just tracking the things that I really want to keep up with and the things that I have created the spreads for. So thank you for joining me and Django to update my journal and see everything that I've read and everything that I'm keeping up with and how I'm tracking in my journals. Thank you for joining me again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.